Hello, fellow seeker. Welcome to the Wordscaper, your quiet corner for gentle reflections, a sanctuary where we can pause and truly listen. Today, we invite you into a profoundly intimate space, a chamber within your own heart, where a certain quiet ache often resides. This ache speaks of longing, of waiting, of feeling adrift in a world that rushes onward without you. It nudges us towards what might just be the most important conversation you'll ever have. Consider for a moment a thought experiment. Close your eyes, if you feel safe to do so, and breathe. Imagine, with the softest touch of your inner vision, that someone finally arrived. Someone who truly saw you, in your raw vulnerability, in your deepest hopes, in your unacknowledged sorrow. And imagine they came bearing gifts, not fleeting trinkets, but precisely what your spirit has been yearning for. They offer you the clarity you've sought, the unwavering purpose you've dreamt of, the rhythmic flow that feels absent from your days. Imagine they hold out, in open hands, the very spark you feel you've lost, the blueprint for the path that would finally make sense. They whisper the secret to your unexpressed song, the courage to speak your forgotten truth, the gentle guiding force that promises to lift you from the depths of your quiet despair. For so long, perhaps, you have been waiting for this arrival, scanning the horizon, hoping for the miracle to appear from an external source, a benevolent stranger, or a sudden cosmic shift to intervene. The heart, in its weariness, can cling fiercely to the hope of a rescuer, a moment of outside intervention that will finally mend what feels irrevocably broken. Yet as the silence deepens around this imagined scene, a soft truth begins to settle. The air is still. The footsteps you anticipated do not echo. The grand entrance you hoped for does not unfold. No one else appears at the threshold of your inner world, clutching the very answers you've so desperately sought. This absence, this stillness, is not a punishment. It is not a sign of your unworthiness, nor a cosmic oversight. Instead, it is a profound, albeit sometimes painful, revelation. The quiet emptiness where you expected a savior to stand is, in fact, an invitation. A gentle, undeniable turning inward toward the only being who possesses the precise clarity, the specific rhythm, the unique spark designed for your awakening. This is the moment to fully embrace the tender truth. You are the one you've been waiting for, the journey you yearned for, the transformation you craved, the healing you prayed for. It all begins not with an arrival from without, but with a courageous acknowledgement from within. The very hand you sought to pull you up has been yours all along. To stand at this crossroads is to face a poignant choice. One path, well-worn and deeply familiar, invites you to continue waiting. It offers the deceptive comfort of passive hope, the illusion that if you just endure a little longer, if you just perfect your readiness, if you just wait for the ideal conditions to align, then finally, your real life will begin. This path can feel less frightening, for it absolves you of immediate responsibility, keeping the yearning alive in a safe, distant future. Yet it also perpetuates the quiet agony of postponement, the slow, subtle erosion of your spirit that comes from perpetually deferring your own becoming. The other path, however, whispers of movement. It calls you to step into the vast, unknown expanse of your own beginning. It doesn't promise ease or immediate triumph. It acknowledges the legitimate fear, the doubt that clings like mist to your understanding. It normalizes the heavy sensation of defeat, the lingering echoes of past attempts that perhaps ended in disappointment. You may feel utterly unprepared, lacking any visible map or guiding star. But this path offers a profound truth. Beginning doesn't require certainty or a full understanding of the destination. It simply requires presence. It asks for a willingness to show up, fully and authentically, for this very moment, and to offer yourself the dignity of a single intentional step forward. What does it truly mean, then, to begin when you feel empty, when the energy has drained and the vision remains clouded? It means recognizing that the vital spark, the creative impulse, the inherent rhythm of your unique being, never truly left you. It merely retreated inward, perhaps to a deeper chamber, a quieter place, waiting for the external static to subside. Imagine the deep internal current of a great river, flowing far beneath the surface, even when the winds above ripple the waters in apparent chaos. This current is your fundamental life force, your intrinsic rhythm, a pulse that exists independent of external recognition or validation. It is the breath that starts the seemingly impossible climb, not the triumphant shout from the summit. It is the profound silence that finally breaks the spell of distraction, revealing the profound truth that has always been present. It is the tiny, persistent flame of a candle, waiting in darkness, not for a rescue mission, but for your conscious decision to light it. It reminds you that the act of illumination is yours, and that the light, once kindled, needs no external permission to shine. The myth of readiness has paralyzed countless spirits. We tell ourselves we must acquire more knowledge, overcome every single fear, attain a state of perfect confidence before we can possibly begin. We believe that true embarking requires a complete absence of doubt, a full arsenal of tools, and a perfectly clear path stretching before us. This is a cruel illusion. Life rarely grants us such pristine conditions. The truth is, you don't need to be ready. You just need to be real. To be real is to acknowledge your fear, to feel your doubt, to recognize your weariness, and to choose to move anyway, not despite these feelings, but alongside them. It is the courageous honesty of showing up as you are, messy and uncertain, yet committed to the quiet revolution of becoming. This shift moves the focus from external validation, from being approved or certified as ready, to internal alignment. It's about a deep integrity, a commitment to honor the soul's quiet call, even when the world's clamor suggests a different path. The external world often demands performance, a display of mastery, but your internal landscape simply craves authenticity. The true work begins in that tender space of honest self-acceptance, a profound yes to yourself, just as you are. This journey is not about manufacturing joy or forcing a triumphant narrative. It is a slow, tender excavation of what has always been present beneath the layers of expectation and experience. It's an affirmation of your inherent worth, not as something to be earned through effort or achievement, but as an undeniable truth of your being. This is the silent agreement you make with your own spirit, to honor its voice, to trust its subtle direction, to believe in the potent power of your own unique rhythm. The world outside may continue its hurried pace, may demand certain results, but your true unfolding operates on a different clock, an internal cadence that responds only to the resonance of your deepest truth. Consider a gardener who observes a single dormant seed resting in the earth. The seed holds within it the entire genetic blueprint for a magnificent plant, a vibrant bloom, a nourishing fruit. The gardener does not rush it, does not demand immediate growth, does not berate it for its stillness. They know the plant is not empty, it is simply unrealized. The gardener provides the necessary conditions: fertile soil, a touch of water, the warmth of the sun, and immense patience. The spark of life is already within the seed. It simply requires the right environment and time to unfurl. You too are like that seed. You are not empty, you are profoundly unrealized, holding within you a magnificent blueprint, a dormant power waiting for the gentle conditions of your own conscious presence and permission to begin. This inherent wisdom, this blueprint of your becoming, whispers to you constantly, yet our conditioning often teaches us to distrust its gentle voice. For so long, we have equated safety with staying within the known, even if the known is a landscape of quiet yearning and unspoken dreams. The leap required to step out of this familiar territory feels enormous, often insurmountable. It's not merely the fear of failure that holds us back. It's the profound discomfort of unfamiliarity, the anxiety of shedding an old skin, however ill-fitting, for the vast, undefined space of new potential. We convince ourselves that the suffering of staying stuck is preferable to the perceived chaos of daring to move. This internal narrative, meticulously crafted over years, acts as a subtle tether, binding us to the illusion of control within our stagnation. But within that very fear lies a subtle invitation, a deep countercurrent pulling us towards liberation. It asks us to question, what if the discomfort of beginning is simply the feeling of stretching a long dormant muscle? What if the anxiety is not a warning to retreat, but the natural tremor of a spirit awakening to its own power, like the earth itself vibrating before a magnificent new growth? To truly begin is to accept this tender tremor, to lean into the unfamiliarity, and to trust that your inner rhythm, your vital spark, knows the way, even when your mind cannot yet chart the entire course. It's an act of profound self-compassion, choosing the discomfort of growth over the prolonged agony of stagnation. This silent commitment to self, this honoring of the inherent urge to become, transforms the daunting abyss of the unknown into a sacred space of unfolding. It means embracing the learning that comes not from grand pronouncements, but from the quiet, persistent pulse of your own unique journey, a journey that reveals its map one tender step at a time. This is the most important conversation because it shifts the entire axis of your universe. It transforms you from a passive recipient of fate, perpetually waiting for life to happen to you, into the gentle yet powerful creator of your own unfolding reality. It moves you from the exhausting pursuit of external solutions to the liberating discovery of an inexhaustible wellspring within. It is a conversation whispered not in words, but in resonance, in quiet moments of clarity, in the soft turning of your attention inward. This is not the end of your story, fellow seeker. No, this is not the end. This is, in fact, the first real beginning, the true start of a journey where you are not merely a passenger, but the conscious, intentional navigator of your own soulful passage. You were not waiting aimlessly. You were gathering strength, gathering wisdom. Nothing outside of you holds more power than your decision to begin. Not with a roar, but with a soft, determined breath, a gentle pivot, an unwavering commitment to your own becoming. So listen now, in the stillness that surrounds you. Let your breath deepen, settling into the quiet rhythm of your own heart. Feel the subtle energy stirring within. This is not the voice of someone else. This is the echo of your deepest truth, speaking directly to you, from you, for you. You are the light that enters the darkness. You are the rhythm that sets the melody. You are the guide you've been seeking. This quiet recognition, this homecoming, is the miracle you've been waiting for. Allow it to settle, to soften, to expand within you. You are filled with boundless potential, patiently awaiting your own permission to unfurl. This is the conversation that changes everything, not with a sudden explosion, but with a gentle unfolding of truth. Thank you for joining me on this reflection here at the Wordscaper. May you find courage in your stillness, strength in your quiet beginnings, and boundless peace in the truth of who you are. Until our next quiet conversation, keep listening, keep trusting, and keep beautifully beginning.